close your eyes for a moment. Or don't. Keep them open if you like. Either way, I want you to just breathe. Take a slow breath in. And let it out. Good. Now, I want to ask you something. Something very simple. Something you've probably never stopped to really think about. Where are you right now? You might say, I'm sitting in my room. Or lying in my bed. Or maybe on a couch in the dark with headphones on. And yes, you're right. That is where you are. But here's the thing. You're not just somewhere. You're also someone. Right now, it is a specific moment in time. It might be late at night. It might be early in the morning. It might be Tuesday or a Sunday, the details don't matter. What matters is this. There is a now. And you are in it. So you are both somewhere. And someone. You exist in a place. And you exist in a moment. At the same time. And tonight, slowly, gently, we're going to explore what that actually means. Because here is the secret at the heart of this story. Space and time are not two different things. They never were. They are one thing. And once you understand why, really, truly understand it, the universe will feel different to you. Bigger, softer, more mysterious, more beautiful. So let's begin. Slowly. There's no rush. We have all the time and space in the world. Let's start with something you know. Space. Not outer space. Not rockets and stars, not yet. Just space. The simple, everyday kind. Imagine your bedroom. Picture the walls. The ceiling. The floor. Maybe there's a window. Maybe some clothes on a chair. A lamp. A glass of water on a nightstand. All of it exists inside a space. The room has a size. It has a shape. You can walk from one wall to the other. You can measure it. You can say, this room is about 4 meters wide and 3 meters tall. And that would be true. That's space. Space is the place where things can be. It's the emptiness that lets objects exist. Your bed needs space to sit in. Your body needs space to lie down. Even the air you breathe needs space, the space inside your lungs. Now step outside your room. Picture your house. The hallways. The kitchen. The garden, maybe, or a courtyard. A street beyond that. Other houses. A town or city. Fields. Rivers. Mountains. Oceans. All of that is space. It just keeps going, doesn't it? You could drive for hours. You could fly for days. You could sail for months. And still, there would be more space. More places. More distances. More world. And then, if you went even further, above the clouds, above the sky, into that dark, dark emptiness where the stars are, there it is. Outer space. The vast, silent ocean that holds everything. Every star you've ever seen. Every planet. Every galaxy, which itself contains hundreds of billions of stars. All of it is floating in space. All of it is separated by space. All of it is defined by space. So when we say space, we mean the whole stage of everything. The container that holds the universe. The place where things can be. Now here's a question. Can something be in space without anything happening? Imagine a rock. Floating. Somewhere in the universe. Totally alone. No planets nearby. No stars. Just a rock. Floating in the dark. Is the rock really anywhere? Let's hold that question for a moment. We'll come back to it. Now let's talk about time. Time is harder to describe than space. You can't point to it. You can't walk across it. You can't put your hand on it and feel it. But you feel it every single day. Think about your morning. You wake up. Maybe groggy. Maybe confused for a second about what day it is. You check the time, it says 7 in the morning. You know that in 1 hour you need to be somewhere. So you get up. You get dressed. You eat something. And then you go. All of that whole sequence happened in time. The alarm came first. Then you woke up. Then you got dressed. Then you ate. In that order. That order is time. Time is the order of things. It's what makes before and after mean something. Without time, there is no before. There is no after. There is no first and last. There's just everything at once. And that would be very strange. Impossible, even. Think about a candle. You light a candle. It burns. Over the next hour, it gets shorter and shorter. Finally, the flame goes out. The candle is gone. That entire story, lighting, burning, shrinking, going out, only happens because of time. Without time, the candle would just be. It wouldn't light. It wouldn't burn. It wouldn't end. It would be frozen like a photograph, like a single moment that never changes. Now think about yourself. You were once very small, smaller than you can imagine, a baby. And then you grew. Your legs got longer. Your voice changed. You learned things. You forgot other things. You made friends. You had feelings. You changed. All of that, every single bit of your growth and becoming happened in time. Time is what lets things change. It's the river that carries everything forward. It flows in one direction. Always forward. Always onward. You can't step backward in time. You can't go back to yesterday. You can't pause it, no matter how much you want to on a perfect afternoon. Time moves, and everything in it moves with it. Now here's a thought. Can time exist if nothing changes? Imagine a universe where everything is frozen. Nothing moves. Nothing burns. Nothing grows. Nothing happens. Everything is still. Would time be passing? How would you know? If a million years went by, but nothing changed at all, would those years be real? Hold that question too, because we're building towards something beautiful. Let's go back to that rock. The one floating alone in the dark. We said it's in space. And yes, it is. It occupies a location. It has a size. It exists somewhere. But here's the problem. How do you know where it is if nothing ever happens around it? Think about this carefully. Normally, when we say something is in a certain place, we compare it to other things. We say, the rock is 10 meters from that tree. Or, the rock is halfway between these two mountains. Or, the rock is right here in front of me. Location always involves a comparison, a relationship, but our rock is totally alone. There is nothing else. No trees, no mountains, no you. So where exactly is it? You might say it's here. But here compared to what? Everything is equally far away, which is to say, there's nothing to be far away from. Space all alone starts to dissolve. It becomes meaningless without things in it, and without things changing. Let's try another example. Even simpler. Imagine you wake up in a white room. Perfect white room. White floor, white ceiling, white walls. No windows. No objects. Just white space in every direction. Infinite and featureless. Now, are you moving? You can't tell. Without anything to compare yourself to, you have no idea. You might be completely still. You might be drifting slowly to the left at 100 kilometers an hour. You might be spinning slowly. You have no way to know. Space alone cannot tell you where you are. Cannot tell you if you're moving. Cannot tell you anything at all. Because space only has meaning when there is something happening in it. When there is change. When there is movement, when something occurs. And what word describes something occurring? Time. Space needs time. Or it's just nothing. An empty stage with no play being performed. A canvas with no paint. A silence with no song. Now let's flip it around. What about time without space? We said time is the river that carries things forward. It's the order of events, before and after. But here's the question. Events happen somewhere. When the candle burns, it burns in a place. In your room. On your table. The flame moves upward. Upward is a direction in space. The wax melts and drips. Dripping is movement through space. When you grow up, your body grows in space. Your legs extend into space. Your hair grows outward into space. Even the thoughts in your brain, at their most physical level, involve tiny electrical signals moving through space inside your skull. Change always happens somewhere. Time at its core is about change. And change always requires a location. Something must move. And moving means going from one place to another, from one point in space to a different point in space. If there's no space, nothing can move. And if nothing can move, nothing can change. And if nothing can change, there is no time. Let's try to imagine it. A world with time but no space. How many seconds have passed? 1, 2, 3. But where are those seconds happening? What is changing? If there is no space, no location, no distance, no place, then nothing can exist and nothing can change. Time would be counting nothing. A clock with no hands. A calendar with no days. Think of it this way. Have you ever tried to describe something happening without mentioning a place? She ran. Ran where? To the store. The storm hit. Hit where? The city. He fell asleep. Fell asleep where? In his chair. Every event, every story, every moment in time has a location. Time and space are not separate answers to separate questions. They are one answer to one question. What is happening? And the answer always involves both a where and a when. Both. Always. Together. Let me tell you a little story. Imagine a park. A beautiful, quiet park. Morning light coming through the trees. A path winding through green grass. A fountain in the middle. A bench near the edge. You are standing at the entrance to this park. You decide to walk to the fountain. So you begin walking. Now pay attention to what's happening. As you walk, you move through space. Step by step. Each step takes you further from the entrance. Each step brings you closer to the fountain. You are traveling a distance. That distance exists in space. But at the same time as you walk, time is passing. The first step happens at one moment. The second step happens a moment later. By the time you reach the fountain, several minutes have gone by. Now here is the beautiful part. You cannot separate these two things. You cannot move through space without also moving through time. Every step you take across the park is also a step through a moment. The two are completely linked. Now, could you travel through time without moving through space? Even sitting completely still on the bench, you are moving through time. Seconds pass. A minute. 5 minutes. The sun moves across the sky. A cloud shifts. A bird lands on the path nearby. Even when you are not moving in space, even when your body is completely still, things are still happening in space. Your lungs are moving. Your heart is beating. Somewhere, light is traveling. Somewhere, an atom is vibrating. You cannot freeze space and let time continue. You cannot freeze time and let space remain. Even the act of waiting, sitting on that bench, doing nothing, is an event that involves both space and time. You are somewhere. And it is some moment. Always, always both. Now let's talk about a man named Albert Einstein. You've probably heard of him. Maybe you've seen the photos, the wild white hair, the warm eyes, the gentle smile. Einstein was a dreamer. Literally. He would sit and dream, and in those dreams he would imagine impossible things. And then he would think about them very carefully, very slowly, until he understood something no one else had understood before. One of the things he imagined was this. What if space and time aren't separate? What if they are the same thing? Now, this might not sound surprising to you because we've been building up to it slowly in this story. But when Einstein had this idea in the early 1900s, it was the most radical thing anyone had ever thought. At the time, everyone thought of space as a kind of background, like a giant invisible stage. Things moved on that stage, but the stage itself was just there, empty, neutral, unmoving. And time? Time was thought of as something completely separate, a universal clock ticking away somewhere, affecting everything equally. 1 second for you was 1 second for everyone, everywhere, no matter what. Einstein said, no, space and time are not separate. They are one fabric, one thing. He called it space-time. Space-time, not space and time. Space-time, one word, one concept. Imagine a stretchy piece of fabric like a rubber sheet. You can pull it, bend it, stretch it in different directions. Now, instead of this fabric being just flat and two-dimensional, imagine it stretches in 4 directions. Up, down, left, right, forward, backward, and also through time. That fabric, that 4-dimensional stretchy fabric, is space-time. And everything that exists, exists inside it. Everything that happens, happens inside it. But here is the part that makes it feel real, not just theoretical. This fabric is not just a metaphor. It's not just a nice way of talking. It actually behaves like a fabric. It bends, curves, and those curves are what we feel as gravity. When a massive object like the sun or the earth or a giant star sits in spacetime, it bends the fabric around it. like a heavy ball placed on a rubber sheet. And when other objects come near, they follow the curves in the fabric. They fall toward the massive object, not because some invisible force is pulling them, but because the path through spacetime curves toward it. That's gravity. Gravity is the shape of spacetime. And here's the most astonishing part. Because time is part of this fabric, gravity bends time too. Near a very heavy object like a planet or a star, time actually moves more slowly. This isn't science fiction. It's been measured. It's real. Let's do another thought experiment. This one is a classic. Einstein actually thought about it himself. Imagine a train. A long, smooth, fast train, traveling across an open plain. You are sitting inside the train, completely still, reading a book. Everything in your little corner of the train feels calm and normal. Now, someone outside the train, standing still on the ground, watches the train go by. From their perspective, you are moving very fast. From your perspective, you are completely still. Both of you are right. Motion is relative. Your position in space depends on what you compare yourself to. If you compare yourself to the train, you're still. If you compare yourself to the ground, you're moving. Both are true. All right, now let's add something. Imagine that you, inside the train, have a special flashlight, and you turn it on. A beam of light shoots forward, down the length of the train car. From your point of view, the light travels from you to the front wall at, well, the speed of light. Normal. From the person outside's point of view, the front wall of the train is moving forward at the speed of the train. The light has to travel further to reach it. Here's the puzzle. The speed of light never changes. It's always the same, no matter where you are, no matter how fast you're moving. Light doesn't speed up or slow down. It's always the same. So if the light has to travel further for the person outside, but it's still traveling at the same speed, then something has to give. What gives? Time. Time moves differently for you on the moving train than it does for the person standing still outside. Not by much in everyday life. A train isn't fast enough for you to notice. But if you were moving at nearly the speed of light, time would tick differently for you than for someone who was still. Your time and their time would not be the same. This is called time dilation. And it's real. Astronauts on the International Space Station, orbiting the Earth very fast, age ever so slightly slower than people on the ground. The difference is tiny. A few microseconds over a long mission. But it is measurable. It has been measured. It is real. And the reason it happens is that space and time are one fabric. When you move through space faster, you move through time slower. They are connected. They compensate for each other. They are not separate. They are spacetime. Let's bring this down to Earth for a moment. Literally. Think about your GPS. The navigation app on your phone that helps you find your way when you're driving somewhere new. That app works by talking to satellites. High up in orbit, moving very fast around the Earth. Those satellites are moving through space at high speed, which means because space and time are connected, their clocks tick slightly differently than clocks on the ground. If the engineers who built those satellites ignored this, if they just assumed that time is the same everywhere, that space and time are separate, your GPS would be wrong. Slowly, over the course of a day, it would drift off. So what do? They correct for it. They account for the way time changes with speed and gravity. They use Einstein's understanding of spacetime to keep your GPS accurate. Every time you use your phone to navigate somewhere, you are using the theory of spacetime. Is that real? That every day. Now think about the sun. The sun is very far away, about 150 million kilometers from where you're sitting right now. Light from the sun travels to us at the speed of light, the fastest anything can move. And even at that incredible speed, it takes about 8 minutes to reach us. So when you look at the sun, when you close your eyes on a summer afternoon and feel that warmth on your face, you are feeling light that left the sun 8 minutes ago. You are feeling the past. The sun as it was, not as it is. You are separated from the sun by space 150 million kilometers. And because of that spatial distance, you are also separated by time 8 minutes. The more space between you and something, the more time it takes for information to reach you. Space and time, again, walking hand in hand. Now look at the stars at night. Those tiny, distant points of light. Some of them are so far away that the light you're seeing left them thousands of years ago. Some of them 10,000 years ago. Some millions. When you look up at the night sky, you are not looking at the universe as it is. You are looking at the universe as it was. A tapestry of different moments. Some stars close. Some ancient. The night sky is a time machine, because space and time are inseparable. The further away something is, the further back in time you are seeing it. Day and night themselves, even those, are a dance between space and time. The Earth spins on its axis. That's movement through space. As it spins, different parts of the Earth face the sun. When your part faces the sun, it's day. When it turns away, it's night. But that cycle of day and night, it defines how we experience time. We built our clocks around it. Our calendars. Our sleeping habits. The rotation of the Earth through space gave us our sense of passing time. The length of a day is defined by space. The length of a year is defined by the Earth's journey through space around the sun. Our experience of time is shaped by how we move through space. Always, everywhere. Let's go somewhere even quieter now. One of the most beautiful and strange things that comes out of understanding spacetime is this. Now is not the same for everyone. Think about what that means. You probably feel like now is obvious. It's this moment. It's happening everywhere at once. Right now, as you listen to this, other people all over the world are also experiencing right now. But are they really? Because of the way spacetime works, because of the way space and time are woven together, two people moving at different speeds, or in different gravitational fields, experience now differently. Now, for someone moving very fast is not quite the same as now for someone standing still. In our everyday life, these differences are so tiny they don't matter. We all move at roughly the same speed. We all live in similar gravitational fields. But for particles moving near the speed of light, for objects near black holes, now gets seriously complicated. There is no single universal now. Now is local, personal, relative. Doesn't that make you feel something strange and wonderful? You and I might feel like we share this moment. And in a meaningful sense, we do. We're close enough in space and moving at similar enough speeds that our nows match almost perfectly. But somewhere out there, at the edge of a black hole, or in a spaceship moving near the speed of light, someone's now is completely different from yours. A moment that hasn't happened for you yet might already be in their past. A moment that's long over for you might still be their future. The universe doesn't have one single present moment. It has a vast, intricate web of nows, all equally real, all equally valid, all woven together into the fabric of spacetime. Here is one of the most famous thought experiments in all of science. The twin paradox. Imagine two twins. Let's call them Maya and Nadia. They are born on the same day. They grow up together. They go to the same school. They are exactly the same age. One day, Nadia boards a spaceship. A very fast spaceship. A spaceship that can travel at close to the speed of light. Nadia flies to a distant star, far, far across the galaxy. The journey takes years of travel at incredible speed. Then she turns around and comes back to Earth. Maya has stayed home the whole time. When Nadia steps off the spaceship and sees her sister, Maya is much older. Not a little older. A lot older. Perhaps decades older. While Nadia has aged just a few years, Maya has aged many more. How? Because Nadia moved through space very, very fast. And when you move through space faster, you move through time slower. She traveled further through space. And in return, she traveled less through time. Maya stayed still in space. And so she traveled further through time. Space and time traded off against each other. Move fast through space, and time slows down for you. Stay still in space, and time flows normally. This isn't a story. This is physics. This has been confirmed. Not with human twins, we don't have spaceships that fast. But with particles, with clocks, with experiments. It works exactly as described. And the reason it works is that space and time are one thing. You're always traveling through space-time. Always. The question is just how you divide that journey. More through space or more through time. We are all, every one of us, travelers through space-time. Right now. Even if we are sitting completely still, you are traveling through time at the maximum rate any still object can, 1 second per second. And that's because you're using all your space-time journey for time, since you're barely moving through space. Let me offer you a metaphor, a gentle one, something to hold on to as you drift toward sleep. Imagine a river, a wide, slow river, moving through a landscape of fields and forests. The water is time, always flowing, always moving forward. You can float on it, but you can't push it backward. The landscape around the river, the fields, the forests, the hills in the distance, the sky above, that is space. The stage, the background, the place where everything exists. Now watch what happens when the river flows through the landscape. The river shapes the landscape. Over centuries, a river carves canyons. It deposits soil. It changes the coastlines. The river of time changes the space around it. And the landscape shapes the river, too. When the terrain rises, when hills push upward, the river bends around them. When there's a valley, the river pools and slows. Space shapes time. They shape each other. They cannot be separated. They are one landscape, one story, moving together. You are a leaf on that river, drifting forward through time, floating through space, watching the banks go by. Some parts of the river are fast, where you're moving quickly through space and time seems to slow. Some parts are slow, where you're still and time rushes forward. But the river and the landscape are always, always, always together. There is no river without a landscape to flow through. There is no landscape without a river to give it life. Space-time. One word. One thing. You have traveled a long way in this story. You started in a bedroom, just a room, just a moment. And we have visited parks, trains, satellites, stars, twins, rivers, and the edge of black holes. But let's come back. Back to you. Right now. You are in a specific place. Maybe lying down. Maybe curled up. Maybe looking up at a ceiling or a sky. And you are in a specific moment. A moment that will never come again. A moment that is entirely, perfectly, uniquely now. You are an event in space-time. Not just a body in a location. Not just a mind in a moment. But a living, breathing, thinking event in the great fabric of space-time. Your entire life, every moment from birth to the second, is a path through space-time. A line, curving and winding, through the four-dimensional fabric of the universe. Physicists have a beautiful name for this path. They call it a world line. Your world line, everywhere you have ever been. Every moment you have ever lived. All of it traced out as a single, continuous line through space-time. It starts at the moment of your birth, a specific place, a specific moment. And it extends forward and forward, through every day you've lived. Through bedrooms and schools and parks and journeys. Through years of growing and changing. And right now, wherever you are, your world line passes through this moment. This exact point in space-time. Which means, this moment is real. You are real. And the universe has, in its own quiet way, noticed. You are part of the fabric. You bend it ever so slightly with your mass. You experience it every day with your life. As you settle in, as your breathing gets slower and your mind gets softer, let me offer you a few questions to drift with. Not questions to answer, just questions to hold. If space and time are one fabric, what are you? Really? A pattern woven into it? A ripple passing through it? If now is different for everyone, is there a place in the universe where your past is still the present? Where you, as a child, are still playing somewhere in the eternal fabric of space-time? If time moves slower near heavy objects, and black holes are the heaviest objects of all, what does time feel like near a black hole? Does it feel slow? Does it feel like forever? If everything that has ever happened is still, in some sense, part of the space-time fabric, does anything truly disappear? If the light from a distant star takes 1,000,000 years to reach you, and you look up at that star tonight, are you and that star connected across time as well as space? These questions don't need answers tonight. They are gifts for your dreaming mind. Questions to float with, like leaves on that wide, slow river. Let's gather everything we've explored. Gently, slowly, like picking up stones from a beach. Space is the place where things exist. The room, the world, the universe. the stage where everything happens. Time is the flow of change, the river that carries everything forward. The before and after that gives life its shape. Alone, space is empty and meaningless. Without something happening in it, it's just nothing at all. Alone, time is counting nothing. Without somewhere for change to happen, there is no change and therefore no time. Together, space and time become space-time, the actual, real fabric of the universe. The thing that Einstein saw, and that science has confirmed over and over again. When things move fast through space, they move slower through time. The two are always in balance, always trading off, always connected. Gravity, the force that holds us to the Earth, that keeps the planets circling the sun, that curves the path of light itself, is nothing more than the shape of spacetime. The way heavy objects bend the fabric. Your GPS works because engineers understand spacetime. The night sky is a window into the past because of spacetime. Astronauts age slightly slower than we do because of spacetime. And you, right now, in this moment, in this place, are a real, living, breathing part of the spacetime fabric. You are here. And it is now. And those two things are not separate. They are one. The universe is very large. Larger than we can truly imagine. And very old. Older than any number we can really feel. And yet, it is all one thing. One continuous fabric. One story, stretching from the very first moment of the Big Bang, through billions of years of stars being born and dying, of planets forming, of life emerging, of creatures like you and me opening our eyes and wondering. You are part of that story. Your heartbeat is a rhythm in the fabric. Your thoughts are events in spacetime. Your life is a line through the universe. Space cannot exist without time. Time cannot exist without space. And you cannot exist without both. You are a creature of spacetime, as every creature is, as every star is, as every atom is, tonight as you rest. As your breathing becomes long and slow and your thoughts begin to soften at the edges. Know this, you are exactly where you are, and you are exactly when you are, and that simple, quiet, profound fact is the most important truth the universe has to offer. Here, now, together, always, sleep well.